Blackouts are coming. Blake Jackson woke suddenly just before 4 a.m. He didn't know why, and neither did millions of other people who felt the same piercing negative vibrations that filled the air. The news didn't sound dramatic at first. But then, does it ever? It was a Monday morning, and a small European country had lost power. Not for 10 minutes, not for an hour, but for the entire day. At first, the headlines were calm, almost boring. Major technical fault hits national grid. Engineers working to restore electricity. Then the typical headline intended to calm people down, but never does. No reason for public concern. People joked about it online. Memes spread faster than the news itself. Someone posted a photo of an empty coffee shop with the caption, "When the Wi-Fi dies, society collapses in 5 minutes." Nobody was scared yet, because power cuts happen all the time. But something felt different. By midday, the airport had shut down. Not delayed, not slowed, completely shut down. No takeoffs, no landings, no radar. By evening, the government stopped posting updates. That's when people started to worry. Because governments never stop talking when something small goes wrong. They only go quiet when something big happens, and they don't want you to know what it's all about. At exactly 7:14 p.m., the first real video appeared online. Only those with independent emergency power could access it, but there was still a majority of people with mobile internet access, and those without soon learned through old-fashioned gossip. The video showed a man stood in the middle of a capital city street. Everything behind him was black. No lights in the buildings, no street lights, no cars, no sound. It was like the movie Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise in a deserted Times Square in New York City. But this wasn't New York. And this wasn't fantasy. It was real. In the video, the man turned the camera slowly and said something simple, "The power's not coming back on." The video spread faster than anything else that day. Within an hour, millions of people had watched it. Within 2 hours, it had been deleted. Nobody knew who the man was. Nobody knew where the video came from. But one thing was obvious, this wasn't a normal power cut. The next morning, the news channels changed their tone. The words technical fault disappeared. Now the phrases were different. Unprecedented grid failure, possible energy supply issue, and the not so reassuring, emergency talks underway. That word again, emergency, the kind of word governments only use when they don't know what to do. Then something happened that made everything worse. Another country lost power. Not nearby, not connected, on the other side of the world. At first, radio news transmissions said it was a coincidence, a quinkydinky, completely unrelated, a separate technical failure. But people noticed something strange. The two countries had one thing in common. They both depended heavily on imported energy, imported oil and imported gas. There were riots at petrol stations. Police forces were grounded. Looting went uncontrolled. There were food shortages. Crime, especially violent and personal against women, were the worst, and murders skyrocketed. No one was safe, especially at night. Police abandoned their jobs to do what everyone else was doing, looking after number one. That was the moment people who could still access the internet stopped joking. Because suddenly, the story didn't feel like an accident anymore. It felt like a pattern. And when people feel fear, they start looking for answers. Around that time, a story began spreading quietly online. Not on the news or on television, just on small websites and forums. It said that governments had known for months that the global energy system was fragile. That one major disruption could trigger a chain reaction across countries that depended on imports. At first, most people ignored it. But then something happened that changed everything. A message appeared. No name, no explanation, no source, just a single paragraph. The energy crisis is not a mistake. It is not only being allowed to happen, it is deliberate, country by country, so people don't panic all at once. At first, it looked ridiculous, something a bored teenager would write just to scare people. But then someone noticed something terrifying. The message had been posted before the second country lost power. Not after, but before. By now, the real-world news was getting darker. And this time, it wasn't just one country talking about it. The European Union had already told countries to prepare for prolonged disruption to energy markets. The G7 has just held emergency talks and said they were ready to take all necessary measures to stabilize energy supplies. And the IMF was already warning that the conflict in the Middle East could trigger a global economic shock driven by energy and food shortages. But the official explanations still didn't match what people were seeing. Because power wasn't just failing randomly. It was failing in the same type of countries, the ones that depended on the global system the most. 3 days later, another country went dark. This time, nobody laughed. This time, nobody made memes. This time, people just watched the news in silence because the reporters weren't smiling anymore. One of them said something that nobody forgot. This is not a temporary energy shortage. This may be the beginning of a global failure. That was the moment fear became real. Because suddenly, the question changed. It wasn't, why did that country lose power? It became, which country is next? Supermarkets started selling out of things nobody had worried about before. Batteries, candles, portable radios, tin food. Wherever they could, people bought or stole guns and ammunition. The future looked darker. People who had never prepared for anything in their lives suddenly felt like they should. Not because they understood what was happening, but because people who normally didn't care suddenly did and were stocking up. Uncertainty is always more frightening than the truth. Somewhere in the middle of all this, someone found the message again. The same anonymous message. But this time, there was something new at the bottom. One extra line. One sentence nobody had noticed before. The world isn't losing power suddenly. It is being turned off by choice. But whose choice? Nobody could prove whether it was real or fake. But the timing was too perfect. Every time a country lost power, the message spread again. Every time the news tried to calm people down, the message came back stronger. People speculated that it was like QAnon had reawoken. On the fourth night, a new video appeared. A man standing on a rooftop. Not in the first country. Not in the second. In a completely different one. Behind him, the entire city was still lit up. Bright, alive, normal. He looked straight at the camera and said, "If you can see this, your country still has power. But it won't be like that for long." The video ended after 7 seconds. It was never confirmed. It was never explained. But again, it was watched millions of times and the fear became almost palpable. And that was the moment the world realized something terrifying. This wasn't a blackout or an accident or a crisis that could be fixed. It was something much worse. It was the beginning of a pattern. And patterns don't stop on their own. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and be sure not to miss the next part of the story, which I will upload at the same time tomorrow. As you may know, this energy crisis is real, so I am still collecting information. Until then, thanks for watching. Stay safe, start prepping, and see you in the next one.